In this video, we are going to take a look at an upcoming release from Axios watches. This is called the Tribune. It's a sector dial. This is their take on a dressier piece. Normally, they've done sports watches in the past, dive watches. And I know many of you are fans of Axios. You're fans of Zelos. Zelos and Axios are kind of referred to as sister brands, respected brands in the microbrand segment, known for doing watches that carry a good value punch, a lot of nice elements for the price. And this watch is debuting specifically on Kickstarter. I'm going to put a link in the description so you guys can take a look at the 5 different dial iterations. I think they're all attractive. My favorite is the copper tone and this gold tone, this yellow gold tone, which I don't know, works really well in conjunction with my yellow gold wedding band. There's something pleasant about this combination. And again, it's nice to see another brand outside the Swatch Group or outside JLC doing a sector dial. I think there's a thirst. I think there's a desire in the watch enthusiast community to see more of these historic designs that are well laid out, segmented to a proportional degree, with a lot of light play. And this Tribune from Axios is delivering in those aspects. Let's take a look at this dial on a macro level. And I will note the unique combination of 2 different textures on different elevations of the metallic surface. We have a sunray finish on the raised section where you have your hour markers, your segmented hour markers mixed with rectangular hashes and the Arabic designations at the cardinal markers. And those are in stark contrast to the sunken areas done in that highly texturized orange peel type pattern. There's good light play, there's good color play. In certain lights, the gold tone gets more rose, gets more warm. And then in other lights, you see more of the yellow and it borders on silver. It really is a very sharp execution. I like the fact that we have a leaf style handset done in gunmetal on this specific dial color, and I like the length of each one of the hand members. They correspond appropriately or proportionally to the different segmented areas of the dial. I like the railroad track along the circumference and how that plays in with the boy, I'm having a hard time talking. How it relates to the sector areas subset of that outer railroad track. Overall, it's a very pleasant look. And if we step back beyond the dial, you guys can see it visible under a box sapphire crystal. There is anti-reflective treatment on the underside of the crystal. And outside of the crystal, you guys can see a circular brushed conical bezel that carries a nice subtle slope up to that shaped crystal. So the watch just has a nice flow on wrist, a nice form. It doesn't feel blocky, doesn't feel chunky. It's under 10.3 is the dimension nominally. And because of the box crystal, it actually feels a little bit smaller than that. It feels sub 10 millimeters on wrist. And just for reference, my wrists are 7.25 inches in circumference. Another feature I'd like to draw your attention to is the fact that we have very slender, twisted lugs that are highly reminiscent of the lyre style lugs that you'll find on Omega. So it's an interesting blend, the bezel, the sector dial, the lugs, and overall, I think it's cool. I like it. I like the sub 39 millimeter size. This one comes in just over 38 millimeters nominally. The lug to lug dimension is 45.5, and we have 20 millimeter lugs. Now let's take a look at the strap here, and then we'll go to the movement and we'll go to the case back. But we have a Horween shell Cordovan strap with tack stitching. And if we turn the watch over, you'll notice, yes, there's the Horween signature on the long side, but on the short side, you'll see the Zelos branding. This is a prototype. And again, Axios and Zelos are sister brands or considered sister brands. So if you were to buy one of the 5 different iterations, when you get your strap, it's not going to be Zelos branded. It will be Axios branded. And then taking a look at the case back, you guys can see a closed screw down case back. We have 50 meters of water resistance. We have a push-pull crown with very subtle coin edging and the Axios signature or logo done in the crown. And then again, outside of the twisted lugs, the majority of the finish of this watch is a brushed finish. And again, that ties in nicely with the sunray brushing done on the sector element on the dial. Now let's talk about negative elements here, or areas for improvement. I think if I look at this, the strap seems a little bit out of place. I think it's attractive, but the tack stitching makes it a little bit more casual. And this is Axios's play on a dressier piece. And so if it was me, I'd probably change the leather style to make it more nondescript and blend a little bit more into the background, so you highlight the dial colors and the case shape with the lyre lugs, the sector design with the leaf hands. So I'd probably take that out personally. Or wouldn't this be great with the bracelet option? Wouldn't this look awesome with, say, a grains of rice style bracelet, adding some more light play, and with the silver tone matching with the case, it helps the dials pop or accentuate to a greater degree. I think that could be very compelling. So that's an area for suggestion for Axios. Now, here's another thing. We have a movement here that is a Japan-made movement from the Citizen Group under the Miyota branding, their movement arm. This is the 9015, and it's a solid movement. It's comparable to the ETA 2824 in terms of dimension and beat rate and power reserve and spec, but we have a unidirectionally winding rotor. And so as you're wearing this watch, depending on how you're wearing it, sometimes you feel that rotor spinning around, and it's pretty dominant. In fact, sometimes it's even auditory. You can hear the rotor spinning. In this instance with this Tribune, I haven't heard the rotor, but I felt the rotor. And that's endearingly referred to by watch enthusiasts as the Miyota wobble. A similar thing takes place on the Swiss-made Valjoux chronograph, the 7750 based chronograph. That's probably even more pronounced, but just be aware of that. I know some watch enthusiasts love it. You find it a fun thing to be reminded that you're wearing an automatic watch on wrist. And then I know other watch enthusiasts that hate it. You stay away from Miyota. Wherever side you fall in that debate, just be aware the Miyota is present. This no date 9015 is present within this Tribune. So with that, let me know if you have any questions. There will be a link in the description of this video to the Kickstarter campaign where you can look at the different dial iterations and pre-order if you're disposed to do so. And then lastly, for those members of my Patreon group, Axios is gifting a production unit in exchange for doing this presentation. And so within our Discord, we're going to vote this week on which color we want secured for the giveaway later on in the year. So if you're interested in that, there will be a link also to my Patreon group, my Discord group. So thank you for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it. Reach out with questions. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.